Well, it's a sign of it's a side that I think wants to go somewhere and works hard. That when things weren't going right for them, or they're playing against opposition that were playing better than us, West Coast came out and were terrific, and it's just great effort by the boys to fight back. I think they're all the indicators that we have in the first half were terrible, and we're just looking at those. The game's not going our way, and boys have got to fight back in the areas we're losing it, and they did. And I think it shows great character in the guys. They can win probably when they didn't play their best football in the first quarter.
What changed? Just play working harder?
Yeah, I think, look, you probably hear coaches say it every week, but we started to get our hands on the ball. Contested footy was getting back to our way, and West Coast were, they're a very good team, and I think the way they were coached was very good. They had a couple of men back, and they were using that to get rebound out of their defence, and we needed to change that and try and stop that rebound coming out. So we started probably sending a few different players in the midfield to get the ball out of the contested football situation, and tried to man up that free guy in the back in the defence so that we could stop their run out of the back line.
The loose man behind the ball must work to your advantage. Fletcher seems to get loose and being able to help you guys create and rebound.
Yeah, it does. You see games happen every weekend where people get left loose and it works for one team and it doesn't the other, and we probably weren't using the ball out of the back line as well as we should have with a free man. They were using it a lot better. It's not a tactic that we use very often. I think that West Coast probably used a lot more and they're better prepared to use it than we were.
Switching early back centre had an impact for you as well.
Yeah, we wanted to get Nathan Lovett-Murray up in the midfield, had a bit of hardness there, and Hurls went back, and Michael's just been great all year about playing in the back line, the forward line. He's very good for us, the forward line early, but the last couple of weeks has had to go back, and I think it shows the character of a really good person who he doesn't really mind where he plays, just wants to play for the team, and very pleased with his last 2 weeks because he can go forward and back and be damaging either end.
James, you talked the other day about being a contest between two teams fighting to rebuild after a poor season. Do you feel that will give you players a fair bit of confidence out of having that win over them?
Yeah, look, I think that game should give both sides great confidence. I think both sides played some really hard, contested football and very different to probably the way they played last year. So our boys feel pretty good about themselves after winning that game, there's no doubt.
Their structures, how did you feel about those? Are they different to anything else you've had this year?
They're a little bit different, but they're very good, aren't they? Like they're very good, and they stop you scoring, and they, I think they're very well coached. They're committed. They play hard footy, and it was a good game to be part of for our players because they played a good football team.
You said that your side wants to go somewhere. Do you think they're capable of going somewhere? It's still very early in the year.
We'll go somewhere. I'm just not sure where it is. That's just. Look, John, it's a boring line, but we want to keep improving. And today was another step in improvement because we handled a different team and a different setup to what we've probably seen before, and they beat us early and we were able to get on top of them after a while. I think that was a really good sign. So if our guys keep learning from situations, because you can train and you can teach as much as you like on the whiteboard or out in the training track, but you throw them into game-like situations like they had today and they learn a lot from today. And so hopefully when we get thrown up against a team like that again, we can handle it quicker and better. So if they keep learning and keep doing things better every week, then you're not sure where you'll end up, but hopefully it'll be somewhere good.
That sort of flexibility with someone like Hurley and the different calls you've got enabled you to continue to run the three rucks and be able to switch around. Obviously, West Coast also have that number of tools, particularly forwards.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses for having a taller team, and we don't really look at all three of them as ruckmen specifically because I think we came into this season thinking that David and Paddy could play different positions rather than just in the ruck, but we've been very surprised that Tom Bell-Chambers actually, I think our first 3 scoring shots came from him marking the ball inside 50, so they're all able to play forward and Paddy's probably able to play back, so it does give you flexibility that we don't see them as ruckmen, which is a good thing to have.
Pleased with the job Heath Hocking did on Kerr when you switched him onto it?
Yeah, Kerr was getting away from us. I think he had 10 possessions in the first part of that first quarter, and Heath went onto him and probably closed him down a bit. I mean, Daniel's just come into some really good form. He's taken 3 or 4 weeks. His game today was exceptional, but I think Buddha probably slowed him down a little bit, which was good, and one of the reasons why we're able to get back into the game in terms of clearances and stoppages.
John Stanton had his shoulder.
Shoulder and neck, got hit across shoulder and neck. I'd imagine it'll be a week or nothing, like it's not a serious injury, but we'll obviously 6-day break, we'll take all the precautions we need with him. Yeah, disappointing for us and Stance. We had to use the sub so early, but Gus was probably played the sub the best we've used it. I think he played very well when he came on, so he was he was definitely a bonus when he came on.
It's going to be a poison challenge, and he's the sub from here on in, but what do you see of Montfries and the way he's played? Probably starting opportunities given the performance.
Yeah, he played, I think he kicked 4 goals last week. Played very well in the first. He played very well against the Bulldogs, got injured, missed a game. Come back from injury, we've subbed him off once, we've used him as a sub once, but after his game today I was very, very happy. So, you've got to have a list of at least 32, 33, and guys have to understand that they're going to get rotated through that list if you want to go somewhere in the year, and either injuries or form, but to have the ability to have him as a sub and still win, and next week it'll be someone else, I think is a real bonus.
Any other injuries today?
Hardingham at Cork, I think a couple of guys cramped in the groins. I've said it every week that we got through pretty injury free, but then someone turns up on Wednesday and it's sorer than what we thought. So it's really, there's no immediate injuries, but it's really hard to tell with footy because the game is so hard that soreness lingers and we've got a 6-day break. So we might make a few changes to the team and just see how guys pull up because we want a fresh side travelling to Brisbane next week.
What is back, Jack? You seem to have a lot of work on it during the game. So
yeah, Hocking was subbed last week with a tight back. He was a bit touch and go coming into this week, but it actually he said I'm right, I want to play, and he got through and was much better this week than last week. So that was good.
Just a challenge in Brisbane, a mental challenge to keep up.
It's a mental challenge, but I think it'll be a physical challenge. I think that Michael Voss is a great football person who's had great success in football, and we expect them to come out firing early or for the whole game next week because there'll be a fair bit of pressure on them, and that normally turns in good performances for teams. So yeah, hopefully we'll be ready for it.